A 15,000-kilometer road trip, in 48 days, through 20 states and union territories. Yes, it was, indeed, an ultimate drive. Hi, I am Peter. Thank you for joining us, as we show you the incredible India, as we experience it. But first, let me introduce the team. There is Noble, a happy-go-lucky person. Then there is Gigiraj, the quiet one. Me, I am the serious type. But as a team, we came out shining. Now, let us get on with the journey. April 10th, 2023. We started the drive from Hosur, a town some 30 kilometers from Bangalore. We touched Fort Kochi, Kerala, to begin the drive down the west coast. Chinese fishing nets. Once just a fishing accessory, it is now a big bait for tourists. A lone fisherman casting his net. Tourists on a sunset cruise. Eateries in Tower Street. From Fort Kochi, we headed south along the west coast towards Kanyakumari through Varkala and Kovalam. We reached the Kovalam beach, in time for the sunset. After spending some time in Kovalam, we headed to Kanyakumari, also known as Cape Comorin. Situated at the southernmost tip of the Indian peninsula, Kanyakumari Beach is the spot where there is a confluence of the Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and Indian Ocean. This is also the point from where we start our drive up the east coast. Our next stop was Rameswaram. We stopped near the Pamban Bridge to take some pictures. We went to Dhanushkodi in the morning. Remains of an old church destroyed by the 1964 cyclone. The entire area of Dhanushkodi was devastated by the cyclone. We then drove inwards to Tanjavur on our way to Pondicherry. We wanted to see the famous big temple in Tanjavur. It was just after lunch when we reached the temple. It was very hot and humid. We were a bit late to witness the sunrise at Pondicherry Beach. Nevertheless, we spent some time at the beach, photographing the fishermen setting off to the sea in small boats. Our next stop was Mahabalipuram. It's known for its temples and monuments built by the Pallava dynasty in the 7th and 8th centuries. The seafront shore temple is one of the oldest structural stone temples of southern India. We did a night halt at Ongole on our way to Vizag. Vizag, also called Vishakhapatnam, is a beautiful city. Still the cows rule the road, and the beaches too. From Vizag our next destination was Konark. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, Konark Sun Temple is famous for its unique architecture. Its geometrical patterns and carved wheels used to serve as sundials. Various theories have been advocated regarding the significance of Konark wheel. The new 10 rupee currency note features the famous Konark wheel. From Konark, we drove up to Calcutta, rather Kolkata, as it is called now. The traffic was heavy. I guess we entered the city during the rush hour. There was an insistent blaring of horn everywhere, especially the old city. Victoria Memorial. The Victoria Memorial is a large marble building on the Maidan in central Kolkata, having its entrance on the Queen's Way. It was built between 1906 and 1921 by the British government. From Kolkata, our next destination was Mangan in Sikkim. Initially, our plan was to just touch Sikkim and come down. But, we later decided to do the North Sikkim. We chose Mangan as our first stop in Sikkim as we needed to get permits to go up north. It is easier to get permits from Mangan. It was a 3-day drive from Kolkata to Mangan. We halted at Malda and then at Kalimpong. We reached Mangan at around 3:55 in the afternoon. After 20 minutes of driving around, we found the office that issues the permits. A nice young lady in the office helped us through the procedure, and we got the permits by 4:45. We stayed the night in Mangan. From Mangan we drove up to Yumi Sodong through Lachung. We could see the snow-capped peaks at a distance. Little did we know that we will be actually driving on those peaks. The roads were pretty bad. We experienced snow for the first time in our life. When we reached the peaks, there was snow everywhere. But the roads were clear. On our return from Yumi Sodong, we crossed Lachung, went down and took the loop up to Lachun for the night halt. From Lachun, we went up to Guru Dongmar Lake bordering China. We enjoyed the scenic beauty of the Himalayas. We were glad we took the extra 2 days to do this drive up North Sikkim. The final approach to the lake was easy off-roading. Guru Dongmar Lake is one of the highest lakes in the world and in India, at an elevation of 17,800 feet, according to the government of Sikkim. It is located in the Great Himalayas, in the Mangan district in Sikkim, and considered sacred by Buddhists, Sikhs and Hindus. This high-altitude lake is located 190 kilometers from Gangtok, the capital city of Sikkim, and about 5 kilometers south of the Chinese border, in North Sikkim. The road to Guru Dongmar passes through rugged terrain with moraine, which has high alpine pastures covered with many rhododendron trees. We came down to Gangtok for a night stay and then continued down to Purnia, in Bihar, for the second night stay. Our next destination was Gaya to visit Bodh Gaya. On the way to Gaya, we visited Nalanda University. We passed through some lovely villages on the way. Bodh Gaya is a village in Bihar. Considered one of the most important Buddhist pilgrimage sites, it's dominated by the ancient Mahabodhi temple, built to mark the site where the Buddha attained enlightenment, beneath a sacred Bodhi tree. A direct descendant of the tree sits within the complex today, along with 6 other sacred sites, including a lotus pond. After Bodh Gaya, our next destination was Khajuraho. In between we stopped at Varanasi for a night halt. The Khajuraho group of monuments are a group of Hindu and Jain temples in Madhya Pradesh. Most Khajuraho temples were built between 885 AD and 1000 AD by the Chandela dynasty. Historical records note that the Khajuraho temple site had 85 temples by the 12th century, spread over 20 square kilometers. Of these, only about 25 temples have survived. After Khajuraho, our next stop was Agra. As we passed through Jhansi, we stopped by the Jhansi fort. We then continued reaching Gwalior. We visited Gwalior fort before continuing to Agra. Taj Mahal. One of the 7 wonders of the world, the Taj Mahal is the jewel of Muslim art in India, and one of the universally admired masterpieces of the world's heritage. This immense mausoleum of white marble was built in Agra between 1631 and 1648 by order of the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, in memory of his favorite wife. Our next destination was Srinagar. We had a night halt at Jalandhar and continued through Amritsar, with a small break to visit the Golden Temple. We then proceeded to Udhampur for a night stay before reaching Srinagar. We stayed in Dal Lake for the night and proceeded to Sonamarg, which is the border village just before the Zojila Pass. On the other side of the pass lies Ladakh, a dream destination for many Indians. Ladakh, the land of high passes, is a beautiful region in India. With snow-capped peaks, clear blue skies, barren mountains with meandering rivers, Ladakh is just picturesque. Nature lovers can't have enough of Ladakh. It stretches from peak to peak, like a heavenly work of art. Done in strokes of brown, gray and purple with stripes of silver, and speckles of green, beside the Indus River. Ladakh, also renowned as the cold desert, holds immense pristine beauty for its beholder. We were ecstatic to be on top of the world, literally. The weather was a bit harsh. It was as cold as -9 degrees on some high passes during day. Every turn in the mountains brings about a different scenery. Driving and being in Ladakh was a great experience that we will cherish for a long, long time. We also saw a Himalayan red fox and some birds like the black redstart, Eurasian magpie and some house sparrows. Our plan was to drive down to Manali from Leh. But, the road was closed with no signs of it opening for traffic anytime soon. We had no choice but to take the Srinagar route back. We were stuck in Dras for 4 days as Zojila Pass was closed due to heavy snowfall and maintenance work. Our route down was Dras, Udhampur, Ludhiana, down to Jaipur. We reached Jaipur from Ludhiana to start our Rajasthan circuit. Jaipur to Bikaner, Bikaner to Jaisalmer, Jaisalmer to Jodhpur, Jodhpur to Udaipur. That was the route we took through Rajasthan. The highways in Rajasthan were generally good, except for the Jodhpur-Udaipur stretch, which was more of a single-lane country road with its dose of potholes. We noticed 2 things that were unique to Rajasthan while driving through the highways. First, the number of cattle crossing the highways. In India, we are used to seeing cows or sheep crossing the roads. But Rajasthan, it is entirely a different story. The insane number of times we encountered these cattle crossing was just unbelievable. So much so, the highway department has placed signs all over the highways warning about cattle crossing. A welcome sight was this camel crossing. Though we expected to see camels all over the place, we saw them on very few occasions. The second unique thing to Rajasthan highways were these overloaded tractors and trucks. With these huge bags hanging on all sides of the trucks, the drivers are blind to the approaching traffic, from behind and on their sides. Hats off to these drivers for maneuvering through the traffic and getting to their destination. Wonder what the traffic police think of these trucks on the road. From Jaipur, we went to Bikaner. I went to Jobir in search of wildlife. It was not the season for birding over there. Desert fox, also called the white-footed fox, is the third subspecies of red fox in India. It is mostly found on sand hills or in the broad sandy beds of semi-dry rivers, and only very rarely in fields, and then in the vicinity of sandy tracts. It is similar in habits to the hill fox, but its diet is more carnivorous than that of other subspecies. And its prey is more restricted to gerbils and sand rats, due to the more barren habitat it occupies. The Indian desert gird, or Indian desert gerbil, is a species of gird found mainly in the Thar Desert in India. They feed on seeds, roots, nuts, grass and insects. Indian spiny-tailed lizard is found in patches across the Thar Desert, Kutch, and surrounding arid zones in India and Pakistan. It is mainly herbivorous and lives in numbers in some areas. The chinkara, also known as the Indian gazelle, is a gazelle species native to Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan and India. In 2001, the Indian chinkara population was estimated at 100,000, with 80,000 living in the Thar Desert. The nilgai is the largest antelope of Asia, and is found across the northern Indian subcontinent. The Egyptian vulture, also called the white scavenger vulture, or Pharaoh's chicken, is a small Old World vulture. Young birds are blackish or chocolate brown with black and white patches. The adult plumage is attained only after about 5 years. From Bikaner we reached Jaisalmer. The Jaisalmer fort is huge, the biggest we have seen so far. Our next stop was Jodhpur. Unlike Jaisalmer and Bikaner forts, the Jodhpur fort is well maintained and is free from commercial establishments within the fort. From Jodhpur we reached Udaipur, after visiting Kumbhalgarh fort. From Udaipur we reached Porbandar, in Gujarat. Our next stop was Ajanta and Ellora caves. From Porbandar we reached Bhavnagar and took a ro-ro ferry service to Hazira, where we halted for the night. From Hazira, we reached Ellora and then stayed the night in Ajanta. After Ajanta and Ellora, our next stop was Mumbai. From Mumbai, we proceeded to Goa. We spent a couple of nights in Goa and enjoyed a well-earned rest. Our original plan was to drive from Goa down the coastal Karnataka to Calicut and then drive home. But, we were running short of time, and decided to drive back straight from Goa. We reached Hosur by 5:20 p.m. on the 27th of May. We have been on the road for 48 days. We had, in this period, covered 14,640 kilometers, through various states and union territories in India. We enjoyed driving in the Himalayan ranges of Sikkim and Ladakh. We also enjoyed visiting heritage sites like the Shore Temple in Mahabalipuram, Big Temple of Tanjavur, Konark Sun Temple, Khajuraho Group of Temples, Bodh Gaya, Ajanta and Ellora, and beaches like Kovalam, Kanyakumari, Dhanuscoty, Pondicherry, Vizag, and Goa. We had also visited the ancient forts of Jhansi, Gwalior, Bikaner, Jaisalmer, Jodhpur, and Kumbhalgarh. We drove through some very good roads, some really bad roads, and through places where there were no roads at all. We experienced extreme weather, sub-zero temperatures in the Himalayas, and the harsh summer heat of Rajasthan. We also experienced the diverse culture and encountered very friendly people through the whole trip. Yes, it was an ultimate drive through incredible India. Thank you for watching. We hope you liked our trip as much as we liked doing it. A click on the like button will encourage us immensely. We will be posting detailed videos of the trip soon. So please subscribe and enable notification.